I says, yes, I'm Eric's father. No, 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 he said, I know you. You're that notorious retired command sergeant major with the big mouth. And I says, yes, I go to that. He says, I had to share something with you before the party was over. He said, I retired several years ago. He said, my last job was at a government laboratory in Nevada, a few miles from Las Vegas. He says, I am a plasma fusion physicist. That's my expertise. That's my training, my background, and not being a scientist, I go, what? Plasma fusion physicist? He said, yeah, I worked at this laboratory outside of Las Vegas. He says, it's not commonly known, but it's rather secret. He says, I worked 5 years with 2 guys who were not from here. They were from somewhere else. And he says they were delightful people. They were scientists. They were working with us. They were assisting us. They were encouraging us and offering us ideas and possibilities and one thing or another in plasma fusion, which is infinite energy forever. But he says, I got to know them pretty well. And he says, after a couple of years, he said, I went up to one of them and I said, what do you guys really think of us human beings? And this chap from somewhere said, well, since you've asked, we think you are how did he word it? A primitive, savage, and dangerous race. And the scientist said, I had to agree with him. We're a primitive, savage, and dangerous race at the moment. The other chap was standing there, who had been listening in. He was also from somewhere. Said, you also smell bad. You humans stink. Even nothing personal, mind you, We find that you don't smell good. And the scientist said, my first thought was, I didn't spray under my arms this morning, so maybe, And they tried to explain that we humans have a psychic odor about us that they pick up and they find it terribly offensive. But it hit me between the eyes because when I was a boy growing up, my grandmother used to say, if we could only see ourselves as others see us, it would help so much to develop our integrity and our character and all that. And this remark from my grandmother hit me, that we were getting this so-called from the horse's mouth, from one of our extended family out there, that you're primitive, savage, and you're dangerous, but you also stink. And I thought that was humorous, and I shared it with Gogo, and she said, please include that in your presentation. So Gogo, bless your heart, I did that for you, Good night, everybody. Thank you.
One sentence.
Henry.
Just one sentence. It relates directly to what Bob has said. If you want contact, raise your spirit high. And that's what they want, because they don't want to mix with you if you're savage beasts. It's that simple. Just relax and be happy and work with each other. It's a very simple message. Thank you.
If you want to learn more about Henry Deacon, he is on our site. We have a lot of very long transcripts all about who he is, some of where he worked, and about Mars. We also have a video called Jump Room to Mars, in which David Wilcock and Bill Ryan and I discuss some of what he told us. And we're looking for maybe a 15-minute, maybe a half hour tomorrow when Henry Deacon can address you and maybe tell you some of the details. Thank you.
Since we're all doing one more sentence here, I must add this. I have traveled all over the planet and I've spoken at conferences all over the world and all over the United States. I have never been to a conference of this nature without there being at least one and generally two of the others in the audience. And I wanted you all to think about that and look around you and know that in your midst, I jokingly refer to it, you have good friends in high places and they're in your midst. And I learned over the years to recognize them.
It's your family.
Exactly, it's your family. But like Ingo Swann, I've developed the intuitive ability to spot them and recognize them. And now I have them coming up to me in conferences, introducing themselves to me. And there are no limits, guys, no limits. Life is infinite and forever, and God bless all of you. And I will say good night this time.
Milagrosamente vamos sobre el horario previsto, así que digo milagrosamente porque aquí el tiempo ha sido relativo y se ha expandido más de lo que